Welcome to Chinakwe. To those of you who haven't been here before, this is a lifestyle store. Everything in here is created by Ms. Chinakwe here, so everything is for sale. Just putting that out there. This is the first independent store that Chinakwe has had. We have done pop-ups prior to this, and we've worked from our studios in Chalk Farm out of East London, but this is the first permanent space where we've been able to bring Chinakwe to life. So this is a really kind of important space for us in terms of representation. Everything in here is bespoke and customizable as well. So if you ever need wallpapers or anything for spaces that we're working on, then please do bear us, Caroline, in mind. And yeah, I'm gonna hand over.
Everyone, so for those that don't know me, this lady, everyone, I'm Caroline Chinakwe, and I'm trying to basically introduce me. I'm a mixed media artist, and one of the things we really wanted to do with this space is have a space that not just represented us, but a space that represented culture, and a space that we could hold events and talks like this one. And one of the person I definitely knew I had to have in here because she really symbolizes what I'm about in terms of how you live with art, how you decorate your spaces with color. She doesn't really use prints as much. She does that beautifully and inspirationally. And for those, I think you tell them about your dad. Let me look.
Should I tell them?
Tell them.
Go on.
Hi everyone, so I'm Natasha Landers. I wear many different hats. I am an interior designer, I have a diversity consultancy, I'm a curator and a gallery owner.
The talks that we do, we also invite you guys to, if you have anything you want to ask while we're having the conversation, we want you to get involved in the conversation. So as much as we're having, if you have any input that yourself you want to share because anything resonates with you or you want to ask her to elaborate on anything, feel free to interject and let's just have a nice girly boy conversation. Oh yeah. You're a girly boy. Okay, so we're going to focus this on, I'm not going to talk about your other job because I know your passion is really interiors and art. So what started first? Collecting art or doing your space?
I think, oh gosh, that's really difficult because it's a bit of both really. I grew up in a household where my mum is Caribbean, she's St. Lucia, but she didn't follow the trends that other Caribbean parents had. So I'd go to other people's homes and there was a point in time when I was growing up with flop wallpaper. You'd made it on the council estate if you have flop wallpaper. My mum's like, we're not having flop wallpaper. That's what you're having in the pub. We're not having that. She was very into greens. She loved to mix furnitures and different eras of furniture. So I always had that around me, and I always talk about the fact that she influenced me in terms of interior. So,
and your love of green.
Yeah.
That's where that probably came from.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not until you start to feel about something
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Okay, so that's where that came from.
Yeah. Your mom sounds like me.
Yeah. She absolutely does love green. She likes lots of patterns actually. And so I think my love of interior started there. And she was okay about me with I remember my first bedroom as a teenager, and she let me decorate it. And it was chocolate brown and it had wallpaper. Because I don't use wallpaper a lot in interiors. And it was
you don't?
No. But I have done that recently. I did a apartment hotel suite, and in that suite I used wallpaper. I don't know why I didn't, but I did when I was about 13. So it was called Donny Mixtures. If anyone's old enough, you might remember there was a brand called Donny Mixtures. And so I had a feature wall in my bedroom with this pattern wallpaper. I feel like it was a feature wall because we couldn't afford to do the whole thing.
Right.
But it sounds weird.
That was when feature, the trend.
Maybe that's how feature walls
That's what I was thinking when you said that. I was thinking that's probably how it started in the first place, you know.
Using one piece.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
When you say dolly paper, it's kind of crochet dollies type of
No,
pattern.
so
That's how
it
my
was
brain thought it.
It was a brand called Dolly Mixtures.
Okay.
I think it was called Dolly Mixtures, but they had like sort of very intricate brands. And so it was a brownie patterned wallpaper that was just on one wall. But I really think it's because we couldn't afford to have. But it looked cool. And I remember I also had this sort of chair, which now is really retro and you can't find it. It's like a circular chair with metal and
Do you
seats.
still have it?
No,
Don't you?
do you know what?
Wish.
I feel like it was
Especially with what you do right now, with collecting vintage. Like, oh my God,
you probably have to pay like at least 300 quid for one of those.
Yeah.
But then
Have you tried to look
it's
for
like,
something like that?
no, because it's not in my aesthetic at the moment.
Right.
But if I had it,
I'd make it
keep
work.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I do remember about art in my parents' home was there were lots of pictures of relatives. There was some art with black portraiture, but there wasn't, outside of my home, there wasn't anything else. Well, in my aunt's home, there was the disciple, the 12 disciples in the velvet thing.
Yeah, my grandparents said that.
I think they were black, I'm not sure. But I just remember there being velvet, and also there used to be art where you'd have the island, what island you were from, and that was like that sort of velvet touch thing. But I didn't have it in my home, in my parents' home, because my mum wasn't into anything like that at all. So I definitely credit with my mum with it. So it's really hard to distinguish which came
But it
first.
sounds like the interiors,
Yeah,
I think, in terms of decorating your space.
I suppose it was.
Yeah.
And then I became really intentional from a very early age about wanting to own art that looked like me. Because when I grew up, there was no books that looked like me. There was no art in museums that I went to. So I really wanted something in my home that looked like me. And so the very first piece of art that I still have, which is, I'm 57, so this is 35 years old, is a piece that I saw in a shop in Cardiff, because I went to university in Cardiff. And it was two black figures on a bed. And what fascinated me, one was that they were black figures, and two, I didn't know what their genders were. And to this day, I've had it 35 years, and people will see it. I still don't know whether they're same-sex couple or whether they are a mixed gender couple. Anna Wong. And what's interesting about Anna Wong is I've looked her up, and the way that she creates art now is completely different to how she created art back then. And I still have it. It's very, very faded. So I'd love to see what it looked like originally, but it's all the colours quite muted, but it looks really nice in the bedroom.
Can I ask a question to the audience? Because it's interesting, like, obviously I'm an artist, and I didn't think about art until I became an artist. I didn't think about it before. How many of you are art collectors now? Like, you naturally collect. Okay. When you bought art, excluding you, your wife, when you bought art, was like, Natasha said, the first art she bought was black because she wanted something. Did you think about that, or were you just buying art because you loved it? Were you thinking about what's something that represents me culturally? Who wants to?
I certainly did. Yeah,
Really? How old were you when you bought your first piece?
Well, I would say it's only a few years ago.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so before that, it was more prints and layers.
Yeah. How about
Who bought you first?
I don't think it was. I think mine was very abstract, but I would say
Yeah.
that the colours represented me. And I feel like the pieces that I saw represented the vibrancy of culture, but there weren't people in it. It was a very abstract piece. So yeah,
I'm trying to if I liked. I mean,
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's horrible to say because I'm an artist that I didn't like art if I became an artist. But if I did, I don't think I would have actually thought about finding a piece that represented me.
Yeah.
I don't think because I'm Nigerian and we don't think about color in that way and culture in that way. We just know who we are and then we like what we like.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about, okay, I want representation. I don't need representation because we know ourselves.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would have. Interestingly, now. God, that's a good question.
Isn't it that Nigerian tribes that you all have different colors on the fabric
colours are really
representing
important.
and the patterns.
Texture, print, and abstract. That is more important. Like Nigerians, we had a lot of obviously westernized faces in our homes. Jesus, we were very happy with Jesus Christ being white. No one can question that until you came to the West and the Caribbeans and the African Americans were like, Jesus Christ ain't white. Like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I'm even thinking now, like, I probably wouldn't now because I'm, this is what I create. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, for a very long time, my collection was all portrait art, all black. I connect much more easily. It's not that I don't appreciate portrait, but there's something that stops me having it in my home.
That makes sense. Okay. You want. I mean, most white people travel. Obviously you're an art curator, so for you just love art and anything that resonates with you. But I guess your first one, you have so much more to choose from as a curator.
Interestingly enough, the first thing that I ever displayed was a poster. It was a fashion poster.
Yeah.
And the first piece I actually purchased was a photograph of Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
And I tend to gear towards, or I'm attracted towards people.
Yeah.
I love portraits, I love photography, I love paintings, I love embroidery. I'm interested by humans and who that person is. I do have abstract pieces. The first thing I have bought was actually a photograph for
Yeah. See, that makes sense. I think, I would have probably, back in the day, I would probably bought a Vogue poster or, you look at pop stars or whatever, whoever, you were into back then. That would have probably been the first thing you want, that before thinking about, okay, I want representation. It's like, who you're into.
I think it is about the cultural reference, right? So if you're from Nigeria, then colour is, as you say, colour isn't an issue. When you're Black British, colour is always an issue. And growing up, when I grew up, there was no representation around me. So it was, for me, it was really important as part of my home was to have figures that looked like me, representing me. Yeah. And it's still quite important.
So moving forward, you've got your own home.
Yeah.
When you first bought your own home, was it with the thought that, okay, I'm going to turn this... And obviously, most of you have seen Natasha's home, right? No? Okay.
This is my first time.
Okay, well, you need to check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. Very cultural, very, very, very much you. Like, when I look at it, I see someone who really knows themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know yourself. You know what you love. Every piece feels like it's picked specifically for a reason. Everything was thought out. And I think a lot of us, when we buy our home, we want that, right? The idea is you want to have that time, but it takes time. It's not, you go in there, no one's got, if you had like maybe 100 grand when you both moved your home, you would have probably done that, but you don't. Exactly. So, and a lot of us rush into buying that. We buy a home and then we're just rushing to decorating without thinking too much about, does it speak to me? And then you get in there for another 20 years and at some point in your life you might start thinking. So when you first bought your own home, what was the first thought process you had there?
Well,
in terms of
a bit of background on the home that I bought was probably the worst home on the street. It had no central heating. In fact, next month, so in a few days' time, I'll have lived there 26 years.
Oh, wow.
So when I moved in, it had no central heating. It needed to be rewired. All the windows were rusting, and I'd come from a house where I'd just done it up. So I walked in with my parents and they're like, why are we buying this house?
Yeah.
But I would never have been able to buy that house if it was in the condition.
Yeah.
But I always have a vision about what I want something to look like. And one of my sayings is trust the process.
Yeah.
And when I work with clients as well, it's like, trust the process. It's like, but the first coat's gone on, and I don't think that's actually the first coat. Honestly, give it another 2 coats, trust the process. So I knew that it would get there at some point. Also, it's a Victorian house. They've taken out most of the Victorian features. It was, I think they bought it in the 80s, and Victorian architecture wasn't seen as very fashionable. So there was like Artex on the ceiling, so that popcorn stuff everywhere. There was carpets in the kitchen and in the bathroom. The bathroom had a yellow suite, but there were different types of plastic yellow. So it wasn't even like retro. Oh, this is a nice yellow. It was just nice. And I could sit on the toilet and I could touch every wall. But I just knew it would be almost my forever home. I would stay there. And so I remember maybe a year in, I found a roll top bath for £50 in an archway, and I wanted it for the bathroom. But the bathroom, as I said, you could touch each wall, so I couldn't put it in the bathroom. So I put it in the living room, and it stayed there for 2 years.
Oh wow!
Until I had the money to do it. So even though on Instagram and social media, it feels like everything is instant. It really was periods of time where I had money, and it was only me with a mortgage and a child, a 1.5-year-old. So we moved into this ramshackle house, had bits done around it, and we were living in the house at the second bits of water. She was fine, but I think back and I'm like, geez, I put a 1.5-year-old to this, smashed down. And it was even though we're having a heat wave now, it was the coldest July I've ever known. So you would have wanted to put your heating on, and I had no heating. So going back to decorating was the last thing kind of on my mind, because I had to do all the things that weren't pretty to look at but were essential to live. So putting in central heating. And after about 6 months of living there, it was raining outside, and it was also raining inside the house.
Oh my God.
So didn't have the money, but I had to find the money to put a new roof on. So decorating took a little bit of time, but I always say to people, have some sort of beauty even amongst the mess. So I'd buy flowers, and they'd be flowers in a really nice vase somewhere there, or a nice cushion, or I think when you're in the middle of a renovation as well, having just something that's nice
really
to look
idea.
at.
It's like having a small little corner that you can start with. It doesn't matter how small it is. That's like the vision of what.
And it doesn't have to be lots of money either.
Yeah.
I say it could be a bunch of flowers or a nice pot plant in a nice pot.
Yeah.
That there's something that tells you we're gonna get here.
It's on the journey.
Yeah, and that we're on the journey. So it's had many iterations.
Yeah.
The house. But you said about, in terms of my mindset around curation, I curate everything in my house, not just the art.
Yeah.
So everything is
and it looks
intentional.
like it.
Where the walls are, where every corner that you look at
Mm.
is intentionally.
There's
like
always
that.
something new to see every time I come to your home, because it's like there is a lot going on. It's not a minimalist home by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot going on, but it still feels spacious. It's obviously you've opened up the kitchen, every room leads into another, but there's always something new to see. If you look at this corner, like, I've not seen that before, and I've not seen that before.
May's my daughter. She's like, oh my God,
what is she bringing again?
We don't need that.
Where are we gonna put it?
We don't need it.
So at what point from buying the house, did you? When was the first stage of I love where my house? How many years did it take you to get to that point where everything was done? Before you get to, because obviously 26 years later, you've got a house that's very, very different to where you were. And obviously the house that you have right now is kind of like the extension of your career, the career that you have right now. And I imagine that when you first did the house, when you first got it to the first stage where it's livable and you got all the furniture in, were you thinking then, I'm going to get into interior design? Or was it still just, I'm just doing my house?
So, interesting enough, I did interior design for a long time without being paid. So I would do people's offices, I'd do friends' homes, I'd do pop-up shops, I just wasn't getting paid
Right.
for it. And it got to a point, I don't know how long it is now. Maybe 6 years, 7 years, that I've started to be paid for doing it. But I've been doing interiors almost all my life.
So
in
it's always
some way.
something that, when you were young,
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
carry
I
that
did
on,
my
you did
friends'
something.
kids' bedrooms. I designed my cousin's kitchen. I did all sorts of things along the way. So it's always been in me. But one of the things that I do want to talk about is that I had parents that would have supported me to do anything. But I felt like I had to do something in business. I don't know what in business, got to get a good job.
Yeah, sort of thing. You need that.
So even though I always
Your
had
bread
that
and butter coming
creativity,
in. Yeah.
absolutely. I went to university and I did a degree, which I can't even tell you what it was about. It was so boring. But I thought you have to have a degree because then you get an office job. All the while,
come in every month, pay your bills.
yeah. And I never used that degree. I mean, I got 2-1, so I did study. I didn't like it though. I thought it was boring. And I always say to young people now, do what makes you passionate. Because nothing is guaranteed about getting a good job. If you don't want to be a doctor and you want to explore something creative, if you're going to go to university, do something creative. I wish I had done that because maybe my trajectory would have started a lot sooner than it did now. Or maybe just life brought me to it was this point was the right time.
Yeah.
For it.
So you've got the house, all that's done. Then you are collecting art.
Yeah.
You're growing your art collection. When growing your art collection, again, what was the? I mean, I guess we all know kind of what the thought behind it was.
Yeah.
But, did you think it was going to grow into the collection that it has at the moment?
Do you know what? I think it wasn't until maybe about 6-7 years ago I realised I was a collector.
Yeah.
There was a friend that said to me, you're a collector, right? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, because you're just living and
I'm just living and buying it. Okay, there's art everywhere.
Yeah.
And I started, people often say, how do I start to collect, right? So I started with prints. I started with limited edition prints. Because that might be your way in if you can't. And then I remember one of the limited edition prints I got was from, what's her name? I have brain fog, so sometimes I forget stuff. But it was an artist where it was a guilty, and it was, I've never had a fine print before. And so it came in the post and it had all of this kind of movement with the acrylics. And I'm so ashamed to say, I sent her an email saying, I think it's come damaged. And I'm really disappointed.
Oh my God.
And she was very gracious. I can't remember her name. She actually passed away. She's an American, a Caribbean American artist. And she said, no. I was mortified.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't understand at that time. And I've had that print for 10 years, maybe no longer than 10 years. Yeah. So that was my inroads. And then I'd save some more money and then I would buy originals and stuff like that. And so now as a collector, I will only really buy limited edition or originals. Become a bit bougie. That was, not to say there are sometimes I will see a piece of art, it costs 50 quid, I like it and I'll buy it, doesn't matter. But there's a lot of thinking sometimes around. So I've got a piece by Stephen Anthony Davids and it's called Sister Side Iron, which is not something you might have seen. And when I went in to buy it from the shop, I saw it in the shop window. I was like, yeah, that's for me. I went in and it was the artist print that they showed me, which they don't usually give you, right? I was like, okay, cool, I'll buy that one. Same price as everything else. Then they sent me an email saying, we can't give you that one because it's the artist print. And I said, well, I'm not buying it then. I want that
That's
one.
what you saw, yeah.
So they sold it to me.
Brilliant.
And I was speaking to Stephen the other day. So, do you know how much that one is now?
Wow. So do you buy art as a collector because, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. When you buy art, are you buying art because you think, okay, it's going to be valuable one day?
Yeah.
Or are you buying art solely because you just love it?
Solely because I love it. I'm definitely the type of collector. And I know collectors that are buying and it's commercial, right? It's about, I see that this person's going to go somewhere, so I'm buying it now. I can do a little bit of that, but mostly it's about passion and art.
Because me as an artist, when I sell art, and because I didn't come from the art world and I'm not a collector, I saw, and just designing my business and the lifestyle side of it, I saw it as it's part of your decor. You know, you're buying pieces that you love that fit into the space that you do. But one of the things I always ask is that what happens 10 years time when you change? Because I feel like people change, right? Something that you bought today, are you going to love it in 10 years time? Are you going to love it in 15 years time? What do people then do? Are they now stuck with a piece that they're like, that they've grown out of and it's no longer part of the aesthetic? What do you do with the piece after that?
Okay, so I remember the woman's name. Her name's Tamara Natalie Madden. And she was an amazing artist, and she always had birds on her pictures. And it's called, I have a piece by her, it's called The Black Queen. I thought, I'm gonna have a queen in my house, she's gonna have to be black. And she is. And I loved that piece, Scott. And then I decorated and did it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not giving that one up because that's worth a lot of money now. But also sometimes my art speaks to me about where it should be. So I can buy a piece of art.
It's going to go here, but then it ends up going.
One of your pieces that I bought, I knew exactly where it was going to go.
The one in the bathroom?
No, the green one.
Okay.
I knew exactly where it was going to go, and I put it there, and it said, this is not my space. I'm like, okay. And it might sound weird to you all, but but it really does. It speaks to me about where it should go. And so it ended up in a space. And with the Black Queen, she's ended up in my daughter's bedroom. And she actually fits really well with that. I think sometimes your art rotates.
Yeah. It did move, didn't it?
She's moved somewhere else several times.
I mean, so you've got two of my pieces. She has one in her small toilet downstairs, and I walked in and I fell in love with that piece more. I mean, and it's so interesting. One, how you framed it was just so beautiful. It was an old IKEA frame that you had.
Like it was all rounded,
and then you painted the mounds. It's one of these Walls and Seduction pieces behind a small one, and it just, obviously it's a retro piece, but the frame that she had, and I've been searching since found one for a frame because it just looks so beautiful. And as an artist myself, I see, you know, when I create my pieces, I'm like, you know, by the time I'm ready to sell it, I love it. But each girl shows herself in a different way to me again. And I'm like, oh, I love you. But then the framing takes it to another level. Like when you frame it in the right way, just little things like that. You frame it in the right way, you put it in the right space. And even though it's in the bathroom, it's one of those art where if you go to the bathroom, you just don't want to leave. Like I can literally just sit in your bathroom. And
I've had that frame over 17 years.
And
I've had
so
different things in it. And as I knew as soon as I got that piece, that's exactly where it was going to go. And I had some red paint left over. So I painted the mount red, and it just, it really worked. Framing is really important to any art. And honestly, it can really bring up how valuable that art looks in terms of the framing. So in my house, I have these, they're called, they're like flashcards. They're retro flashcards of Black Americans. And they came in a packet, and I went to the framers and I had them float mounted in a frame. The frame cost a hell of a lot more money than the cards did. But when I tell you, it elevates it. Anytime people come to my house, it's the one that people talk about the most. So framing can really uplift any kind of frame.
One of the things we've been talking about in the store and talking is pivoting, like, you know, people pivoting their careers, starting from one, moving to the next, how you do it. And I feel like with your career, you keep pivoting. You keep changing all the time. So obviously you started off with decorating your home and doing other people do a design, then you end up being a collector. And then the next stage is having your house as a show home and a set.
So location
house. You know, how did that come about?
So it was a location agent that saw the house on Instagram. Location agents are always looking for properties. And I didn't know what a location house was. It wasn't anything I'd considered before. And she said, would you consider doing it?
How do they find you?
On Instagram.
Right.
They're always searching. I think also what brought me to their attention was the house was in Harper's Bazaar.
Oh, that would have been in your first
Yeah.
thing of that.
Yeah.
Was my work in your...
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah.
And Harper's Bazaar contacted me through Instagram. I thought it must be a joke. I mean, Harper's Bazaar going into your DM and asking, I'm seeing your is in there. And I'm like,
You're like, yeah, you didn't respond to a bit.
Sandra wrote somebody else. I'm like, me from Wolfenstein?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So once you're in, things start to roll.
Yeah.
Once you're in a magazine, location agents know about you. So I was contacted, asked if I'd be interested, so you can make some money. I was like, okay. Got a mortgage to pay, that's cool. But a location house, you have to be okay with people coming into your house, or strangers. All over the house. So they're allowed all over the house except my office. So I've had
In your bedroom?
Yeah, I had a film where it was about a one night stand. And they used my bed.
Oh my gosh.
More action than me, right?
That's another story.
But so I said, "Are you bringing your own?"
making your bed?
I don't know. I don't want to watch the film. They bought their own linen, bed linen, and stuff like that. Yeah, I've never seen the film. Yeah, so I've had that. I've had editorials. I've had a music video. Yeah, an actual music video in the house, and a virtual concert in the house. So all sorts of things. But I set rules about what they have to do. They can't wear their shoes in their house, so they have to wear shoe covers. They don't take any notice because I'm not there. They have to
you're not there even. You didn't leave the house.
Can you imagine? I'd be upstairs.
Oh my god!
Bang, and I'd be like, oh fuck. I said no.
It's one of those things that if you're gonna do it, you have to just like close your eyes, let go.
I'll come back at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what you're doing as long as, and they always put everything back. So the most scary shoot that we had was old El Paso came and they did a shoot. It was a 4-day shoot in the kitchen, and they changed the kitchen. So they painted the wall orange.
Wow, they actually painted it.
Yeah. Painted the walls orange. They put yellow like film over the drawers. They've got a false wall in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I went out for the day because I don't stay overnight, and I was going to come back home. And I came in and the dog went, what the hell? And he went to lift up his leg to pee. I was like, okay, no, we've lost that. But in the contract, it says that they have to put everything back.
Yeah.
So I got newly painted wall. But at that moment, I was like, oh my God.
How's going to be everything?
Yeah.
So then we move on. The next pivot is you then decide to start Legacy Project.
Yes.
And that start.
So it started with an artist called Stephen and Anthony David before the Lemon Seed Project existed. He has a huge studio in Stratford, and I'd gone down there because I have some of his work. And he said to me, oh, would you help me? I want to have a studio cell because I've got hundreds and hundreds of pieces of work and I need to make space. So why don't you do it in my house? And I was part of the Open House Festival. Does everyone know what the Open House Festival is?
Oh yeah, you started in the Open House Festival.
Yeah.
Legacy Project, right?
Yeah, this house has really been working.
Yeah,
Working hard.
it's turning it.
Well, I don't get anything for Open House, but
Yeah.
it's always about what's the next prospect.
Yeah.
So I was part of the Open House Festival, and he showed his work along with Donald Bauer as well, showed his vessels and sculptures, and people could buy. And they bought his work. And I remember him bringing like these bottles. He bought loads of big pieces of work, but he bought these bottles that he painted. And he said, as long as I can sell the bottles for 50 quid, that's all right. And when he said, he's all of the stuff, I'm like, yeah. So, this could work. So the Lemon Seed Project is many things. One of the things is my love letter to Black artists. It's about recognising that Black artists often don't get spaces to show their work.
Yes.
It's also about recognising for some people going into a gallery can feel quite scary. Very intimidating. Do I have to walk around a certain way?
And a lot of times you can be there by yourself.
Yeah.
Pressure, like, oh God, you know.
Should I know this? Can I ask questions?
Do I have to buy something?
Yeah, not going to cross the line. You know, there's all sorts of rules, or unwritten rules,
Yeah.
and it can be a bit snobby
Yeah.
as well. And I felt having a home and inviting people in, because you have to just sign up. You don't pay, but you sign up for an invite, really. And then you get the invite, you get the address. So it's a whole different kind of psychology that you're coming into a home. I think the other thing is to understand, like, you've got some beautiful big pieces of art in you. And sometimes I feel people think, I love it, could have it in my house.
Yeah.
I don't have a huge house.
Yeah.
But here's a tip. If you can buy big art, it just means you buy less art, right? So rather than have a wall that has lots of like 6 or 7 different pieces, you have one huge statement piece.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of statement pieces around the house.
Also, people that buy large pieces, they think they need to have high ceilings. For instance.
Yeah, not necessarily.
And not necessarily as well. I mean, I've had to put the wall, like this size piece, and they just had it leaning against the wall. And they've had it on the floor, leaning against the wall. So there's different ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to be intimidated.
Absolutely. And the good thing around the Lemon Seed project is just that you can show that you can display art in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah.
So I've had art hanging from wire and bulldog clips. Gary helped me hang a really huge piece of Sharon Waters for a shoot that I was doing. I've had them leaning up against the window, of course on the walls. It just shows that art can be wherever you want it to be.
So the Lemon Seed project is how old now, and obviously May, your daughter, works with you on that. So what made you decide to start representing other artists?
So it was that thing about my love letter to artists. It's a house that is used to having people in it, and we're used to having in it. I think it works really well with art, and having different sorts of art. And I only pick art that I feel feels authentic to the space. So any of you that have walked into the space where it feels like, often people will say it feels like it was always there. The art is there. And so we're very particular about how we curate the space and who we invite in terms of artists. Because trust me, you get loads of artists that was like, I want to be part, can I? And it isn't always the right artist for that space. So my daughter and I co-founded the Lemon Seed Project. She's amazing. I don't just say that because she's my daughter. She does all the marketing. She is very proactive and intentional, particularly on LinkedIn. So we're now getting into the space of being art advisors. We're looking at corporates and loaning art to corporates. We just had a first conversation with someone abroad about linking in. So the world is its oyster. But for me, it's a legacy piece. So I want to retire in the next 5 years. And I didn't realize how much she's into the arts. I'm always like, do you like it? I don't want to push her, I don't want them pushy mums, but she likes it. So I'm like, well, this is your business in 5 years' time.
Brilliant. She's up for it.
And I think she could do it. I think she could. She is absolutely amazing. She's definitely the right person to be in partnership with. We talked about it a couple of years ago when we were in Bali after the shoot, the orange shoot. I said one day we should do something together, and we did. And Evadne Davis was our first Lemon Seed project. And since then we had 4 last year. Had 5. Had 5 exhibitions in the last year.
Love that. So, Lemon Seed project over. What is the next step?
Retire on a Caribbean or
How close are we?
I keep playing the lottery, so hopefully one day it will work. No, I don't. Honestly, I'm a little bit tired. I love what I do. But there needs to be an end game for me. I've been working since I was 15. And I know. I'm really tired.
I say that every day. Like, I'm so tired.
And people say, no, well, you wouldn't stop because you love it too much. I'm like, Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
so
start.
it's true. You can
I
make
just,
something
I'd like to potter. You know, you just get up and you potter in your garden.
Exactly.
And
Just do
take
it when
the
you
dog
want
out.
to. I think it's the doing it when you want to. I don't think you'll ever stop doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it when you want to, not because I have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as much as you love what you're doing, and
Yeah.
you know,
I do.
that whole thing of I have to do it. You're
Yeah.
still in that I have to do it mode.
But there's still so much to do with the lemon tea project. So
Yeah.
I say this
lucky
silly
you've got mine to
joke.
take, and it's late.
May will definitely take it. But yeah, we had a strategy meeting and there's just lots that's going on. I also do brand collaborations as well. So the other hat I didn't talk about, where I
Tell us
work.
about that.
Yeah, so I work with brands to create content. So I'm a content creator as well. I've just worked with Secret Linens with, so I do that too.
Do some quick fire questions. If anyone had any quick fire questions they want to ask, Trevor can start. I've got a few.
Yes.
When you're designing a space or curating a collection, do you have a set of rules that you follow?
Let's talk about spaces first of all, or even when I'm working with clients, is I want to get to know them a little bit because I don't want to leave people with a space that I like when they're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is a view. Yeah, right. So you will see that I am the designer because there are points to the way that I design, but it has to feel like them. I remember following a woman on Instagram who had a whole house that was kind of very Abigail Ahern. Does everyone know Abigail Ahern?
Yeah.
Very dark, very moody, beautiful if you like that kind of thing. But she did it because she thought it was a good thing to do. But then she said on Instagram, I hate it. It makes me really depressed. I really like Scandi style, which is the complete opposite.
Yeah, oh my God.
To Abigail Ahern. So I want to leave a space for people that they feel ownership of. So my job as an interior designer is to maybe push you out of your comfort zone, but still leave you with a space that feels like it's your own.
My question following that is, for those that are afraid of colour,
Yes.
or it's like in my space, one thing I've realised, obviously there's colour everywhere, you can't run from it, is that there's a lot of people that come in here that think they're afraid of colour. Then they walk into this space and they're like, you know what, I could live in this.
Yeah.
We're so scared because, you know, we've been conditioned, I think, with interior design to be very minimalist. You know, we're moving from that era. But for a long, long time, it was chic, it was cool, and it looked expensive to be minimalist and brave. And, you know, then it turned to people adding bits of brown and wood in there.
Yeah.
How do you, for those that want to go into colour,
Yeah.
what's the starting point? Where do you think, what would be your advice to them?
So my advice would be, if you're worried about starting with changing the colours of your walls, because that's the big impact, is think about accessories. So accessories could be a cushion, it could be a rug, right? So think about it. It could be a colourful vase. So you could still have you have white walls in here, right? But you also have colour. It could be a piece of art, abstract, portrait, nature, could be something in that. So start with objects and then work your way up.
Any other questions for us for next question?
So I have a question. It's more about how you implement sort of sustainability and sort of ethical environmental practices into your interiors. Because I think a lot of the industry is very much moving towards the materials we use, where they're sourced from, them not affecting the planet, and being able to have like multi-utility use and using them for different functions.
Yes.
And possibly, I think, how do you sort of approach it with clients and getting them to maybe, for example, use restorative products or, you know, more ethically?
Yes.
That's a good question. You do that a lot.
I do. I think one of the first things I do is I lead by example. So I can show them examples of things that have been done. So one of the things that I like to use is upcycling of products. Have it throughout the house. In my kitchen, I've used copper pipes as a lighting. I've used scaffolded boards to make my shutters. I've used an old cigar box to make a shelf in my toilet, and the other half of the cigar box is actually a piece of art. So I know how to do it quite well. I'm also into mid-century furniture is a big thing of mine. So not buying new, but looking at looking at pieces and understanding that they are for me, mid-century is timeless. You can put it in, you can put it in a minimalist or maximalist room. Boom, it's still gonna work because it's so well made. Where they have pieces that can be upcycled or renewed, like sofas that might be reupholstered rather than it going to landfill. And I've done all of those things. So if people, I don't know if you can, I'm like, if we can do it. So yeah, that's how we do it. I think that's really important. I am also being ethical is really important to me in terms of my values. I won't work with certain brands because of my ethical values.
Okay, so final question, what's next? What are you working on right now?
And so you not in that way. So we're collaborating. So the Lemon Seed project is going to be exhibiting Caroline's work. And that will be in August. That's an invite to everybody. It will be on both. We'll collaborate on our
new work
channels.
that I'm showing in some collaborations with different creatives and artists as well. So hopefully we'll have all that ready.
Yeah.
Put into the show.
So that's what's next.
Yeah.
And then we have a group show in October, which will be our first group show for the Lemon Seed project. Yeah, for Black History. And so we're taking artist submissions as we speak.
Thank you so much, Tasha. I think it was very insightful. Hope you will learn something and those that are watching learn something. So
I think the event went really well. It was nice to meet the interior designer and the artist. And it was just lovely to hear their stories, how they got to where they are, and actually how late in life that they decided to pursue, this endeavors. And I think it also tells a lot of people that, you don't need to be rushing to pursuing things you're really interested in. Sometimes you can live your life and then, pivot and have a moment where you realize that actually I want to pursue this creative path and take that. So I think it was really inspiring, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's really colorful and beautiful artwork, as you can see. But yeah.